Surprise! I am pregnant with baby number 3. So I'm just gonna do a little bump update first. So currently, today I am 13 weeks and 3 days. Third time around, belly really starts to pop out. So this video is going to be all about my first trimester, weeks 4 when I found out to week 12, and just what went on each week. I do have some notes that I'm going to look at. This pregnancy has been tougher than my other 2, and I don't know if it's because I'm chasing 2 kids around all day long. My son right now is in a crazy wild boy stage, and he keeps me busy all day long. So I have been just way more nauseous this time. My other pregnancies, I barely got nauseous. This time, I haven't thrown up, thank God. But, oh my God, just days and days and days and days of the nausea just like taking over and still having to mother 2 children. It's been hard, not gonna lie. Okay. So, December 28th, 2022. I was 3 days late on my period, and 3 days after Christmas, we had gotten home from Orlando, and Max was out golfing for his birthday, or fishing for his birthday with his boys. And I was home, and I took a pregnancy test, and it was positive. I was shocked, so shocked. So week 4, I was in shock. You know, all you see is a positive pregnancy test. You don't feel pregnant yet, or I didn't. I felt so normal that it's like, wait, is this real? Is this, what? Oh my God. Also, after Christmas, my entire family had what I think was RSV, and it was awful, and it lasted a very long time. One of those sicknesses where you get sick for a long time. The kids were sick for a long time. I was super sick, lost my voice, was coughing, like the whole thing. So for the first week and a half of knowing I was pregnant, I was also sick. So that kind of sucked. Week 5, I had some migraines, which is very typical for me in my first trimester with all of my pregnancies. I felt very tired, but I was also super sick, so I don't know if that was hormone related or what. I did start waking up at 4 a.m., just like wide awake. And then in my head, I'm like, I'm not getting up because mama needs to sleep still. So usually I would go back to sleep like 2 hours later for like a couple more hours. Oh, there's a cardinal outside. And that lasted like 2 weeks, I think. I started going pee so much at night starting week 5. Drinking I was so thirsty, and I was just peeing all the time. My boobs also got very big, super sore, and I had just stopped breastfeeding my son. I think I did a couple times into January, so like we were very fresh into like the weaning stage, and then we did it a couple times while I was pregnant, and maybe that's why he stopped. Maybe it tasted different or something, but no, I was very glad to be done. And my boobs had just gotten so cute and little and like comfy, and because my boobs get humongous and like uncomfortable when I'm pregnant and postpartum. So back at it, here I am. I also started getting some acne where it was like down here, just like a bunch of just red dots, just hormonal acne, and I was also feeling crampy. So that was week 5. Week 6 is when the nausea started. It felt like, when you're hungover, like your body, you're so fatigued physically, mentally, you feel nauseous, like you're gonna puke, you don't want to eat, but you need to, you don't want to drink, you're like dehydrated. That's what it felt like. Was the nausea was like a really bad hangover. I was getting headaches and still waking up around 4 during week 6. Week 7, I just wrote a couple things. My sense of smell was heightened. Like my dogs, I could just like smell my dog's breath out of nowhere when I couldn't before. Like anywhere he was, I was like, the dog smell was like overwhelming. And my husband is like, what are you talking about? Like, sure, he needs a bath, but like it's really not that bad. So my sense of smell was heightened, and I was still nauseous. Week 7. Week 8, I was so thirsty. I've been really thirsty this whole entire time. I would crash pretty consistently around 4 p.m. every single day. Kind of like I would have a late, big lunch, sit on the couch, and like not want to get up. Also, my bloating, I was so bloated. Like from 8 weeks to 12 weeks, I feel like my stomach didn't change. Like at 8 weeks, there was just so much bloating. I felt like, oh my God, this is crazy. I look 12 weeks pregnant. I still had acne, same kind of hormonal bumps. It would come and go. And then I did go to a pregnancy clinic for a free ultrasound at 8 weeks because I'm trying for a VBAC this time around. So I really wanted to get a new doctor or midwives if I could. So I kind of did some research and found a midwife group that works with OBs that deliver at a hospital nearby. And they were so booked, they didn't have an opening until 13 weeks, which I'm about to go to that appointment. Finally, it's taken so long. But just having a loss prior to this pregnancy, if you've ever been pregnant, after loss, that anxiety or just the emotions behind having to wait so long to figure out if everything is okay, it's just too long. So I couldn't wait. I had to see what was happening in there. So I went to a pregnancy clinic, and they gave me a free ultrasound, and everything was good. And we saw baby's heartbeat. We heard baby's heartbeat, and it was just a little cute little jelly bean little baby. And yeah, I was thankful for that, and it was free. I didn't know that was available. It was a really good resource for women going through all sorts of things. At 9 weeks, I was the most nauseous. 9 weeks was horrible. I remember my last pregnancy too being like, wow, 9 weeks was when I felt the most nauseous and gross. So same with this pregnancy. I felt like I had the flu at night, every night, and I would get nauseous after I ate, which was weird because other times it's like because your stomach is empty, you get nauseous, so you eat and you feel better. But this time I feel fine. I would eat 10 minutes after I ate, would feel so nauseous, sorry. And also mainly at night. So like after the kids are sleeping, we're all winding down, you eat, and then I'm like, wow, I feel like I have the flu. This is so crappy. Super tired, like didn't want to move, very, very fatigued. I've been craving carbs at this point at 9 weeks, just bread, pasta, just carbs, and savory. Didn't want anything sweet. I didn't want like fresh salad. I didn't want anything like raw, like a raw salad or just fruit, fresh fruit. Didn't want it. I want it like cooked with savory, some salt, some soy, you know, I wanted all the carbs, I guess. I also had a migraine this week and my boobs got even bigger. So moving on to week 10, I was at the playground. You know, I'm feeling very bloated at this point. I'm wearing like kind of a tight shirt and I have a jacket sort of tied around my waist. So I guess the bloat was very emphasized. The tiny baby, but the bloat. And I was at the playground and I'm talking to this mom and she looks at my stomach. She goes, "Are you expecting another one?" And I was like, "Yes, I am. But holy cow, I can't believe that I'm 10 weeks and you're asking me this and you can tell. Also, that is ballsy to like not really know, but to like ask, like, what if I had said no? You know, that could have been a very awkward situation, but whatever. It was good. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Uh, Week 10, I also started feeling like pressure from a bladder prolapse, is what I think it is, or think it was. After my daughter, I had a bladder prolapse and I had to do pelvic floor therapy. And so I'm very familiar with what it feels like. So like towards the end of the day, from being on my feet all day long, and I guess my pelvic floor is weaker right now. So I was feeling that pressure and that like prolapse sort of starting. So I've been doing lots of Kegels and doing less running. I'm still, to this day, I'm still every single day walking / running 2 miles. So I'll walk a ton. I do some lunges and then I'll like run maybe a quarter mile, and then walk a lot, run a quarter mile. So I'm probably running less than a mile, but overall exercising for 2 miles. It feels great. I need it. It's like the best thing ever. Week 10, I was less nauseous. So week 9 was definitely the worst. I like plateaued. It was awful. Week 10, I like, okay, getting a little bit better. I also started feeling very emotional about what labor and delivery will look like, and I'm just gonna have to do a lot of preparation in getting my VBAC. So there's just a lot that I'm gonna have to do, and I think week 10 I started feeling a little overwhelmed with what's gonna happen at the end. I also was getting so full, like I could tell my digestion was slowing down, which happens in pregnancy with relaxin pumping through your body to like loosen up ligaments and stuff so your body can stretch, but it also loosens and slows down your digestive tract. So if I ate like a typical big full meal, I was uncomfortably full for like 3 hours. It took my body so long to break down a full meal. And so now I am eating like half of my meal and then 30 minutes later eating the rest, and just doing smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day, which is what they tell you to do. And I haven't been super full since, so it's working. Week 11, I felt way better with nausea. I started getting some energy back. I did have a 3-day headache, which my last pregnancies, if I had a sip of coffee, I would get a migraine. Like it would trigger a migraine. So this time I had a 3-day headache, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut coffee out and see if that does anything. And it didn't do anything. I still had a headache. I still got another headache, and so I'm still drinking my coffee, and 13 weeks is totally fine. So it must have just been a hormonal thing. But 3 days, it was rough. I'm craving a lot of protein week 11, just every meal protein. If I made a smoothie, I'm putting protein powder in it. I just like was really craving protein. Also feeling big 11 weeks. Honestly, 8 weeks on, I felt big. 12 weeks, the bloating started to go away, and you started to see like a little bit of a bump, not huge or anything, but it's like the bloating, and then the bloating starts to go away, and then it's baby weight. Crashing around 2 to 4, but overall having a lot more energy week 12. Kind of when I have lunch and sit down, I crash. I'm like so tired for like 2 hours, and then I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's do dinner time and all of that, which is good. I feel more clear in my mind. I feel more like myself, more energy, like, yeah, more motivated. I have been feeling, it started week 12, like a bulge on my left lower side, And I don't know if that's just where baby has just like migrated to just like kind of on my left, or if it's like gas. I'm not sure. Still feeling the bladder prolapse, running less, still walking and running. But yeah, so weeks 4 to weeks 12 have been a whirlwind with baby number 3. It is going to be a wild ride from here on out for the rest of my life, I am sure. But week 12, I had another ultrasound, which my mom got to go with me and see little baby doing like a flip and like turning. It's like right when he put the probe up there, the baby started kicking and then like did a flip and then turned its back, kind of like, no, I don't like that, go away. But it was super cool to see, and we got a 3D image. This was also at that pregnancy clinic. They were doing a training, so they asked me to come back and do another free ultrasound, and I was like, heck yeah, that's great, I would love to see my baby. So that was super sweet, and yeah, now I'm excited for, it's Tuesday today, so Friday is our big appointment with the midwives and the OB, and I get an ultrasound and I do blood work and all that jazz. It's gonna be a great appointment, and I'm excited to meet these wonderful people, even though our plan is to move to Orlando. We're currently in Naples, Florida. So if we move to Orlando, I'm going to have to get all new providers. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm excited for now to meet these wonderful people that could be helping me deliver my baby. Thank you for watching. I will try and do a second trimester update in the future, and I am just so excited, and thank you for following along. Bye.